Greetings, Mech Warriors, and welcome again to the Mech Warrior Online World Championship 2016 European Regional Qualifiers. I am Bandit P17, the official PGI community shoutcaster for the tournament, and I do not have my co-caster with me today. He is enjoying his holiday for the July 4th weekend. But I am here, and I'm going to be bringing you hopefully some exciting European matches. First up, looks like we've got RCGB versus 19th Striker. Hopefully this will be an exciting one. Let's take a look at the decks. I am seeing a Spider 5K, two Spider 5Ks actually in use for RCGB. So they are going to be putting a lot of pressure on those machine guns to try and get some crit out components. That could put them at a little bit of a disadvantage just in terms of the light versus light fight, because on the other side they do have dual Arctic Cheetahs, but that really comes down to execution. I'm excited to see what those 5Ks are able to do. I am seeing a Warhammer 7S in use, Timberwolf, 2 Hunchback 2Cs, and 2 Kodiak 3s. But we do have a dual executioner build, and I've been seeing this a lot out of the Europeans. They like to bring some of those gargoyles, some of those executioners and stuff. You don't see all that many of those in the NA scene, but they really like to bring these executioners that get in there hard and fast and kick some butt, and it's exciting to watch. Can't wait to see what they can do. But both teams are readied up. Let's do it. Let's get in there. Did not have a drop one for today. Both teams were very diplomatic and awesome sportsmanship today. Got to give a lot of props to the teams that really, you know, they do what they can to avoid, you know, forfeits and stuff, and they really work together to try and get these reschedules done. So a lot of props to those guys. But unfortunately for us, we were had to start late essentially because there was no matches to watch. But that's okay. We're here now. Let's take a look at those dual executioners. 5 flamers, 5 ER small lasers, and an LBX-20. My goodness, a slightly different build actually with a Gauss rifle on the other one. But this is scary, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. That is a lot of flamers on the field, and if they can get those flamers in use, that's going to be brutal. They are supplemented by dual SRM Timberwolves. That should be an exciting brawl-capable mech, and then the Hunchback 2Cs with small pulse lasers, 8 small pulse lasers apiece. So it looks to me like 19th Striker wants to bring the brawl to RCGB, and they want to bring it hard and fast. They are heading up to the Kappa region with a majority of their mechs right off the bat. RCGB sending a strike team of those 2 spiders straight to Theta. They might get into a little bit of a skirmish with a single Arctic Cheetah here. He's going to have a little bit of a surprise when he starts getting popped in the face. Looks like he might have caught a glimpse and actually bailed out the side, but he's sticking around. He wants to see what's going on, maybe stop the cap a little bit, get a poke or two in there. But looks like Theta has fallen to RCGB. They got what they wanted out of it, and that Arctic Cheetah takes a good shot to the face from the D4 region with the Kodiak. Good firing line straight through that little narrow hole there, and he was able to put down a decent amount of damage to that Arctic Cheetah right off the bat. 19th Striker is continuing their tour around Kappa. They've got a very quick cap on Kappa. They are down by about 8 tickets, and they're full capping it too. They are down about 8 tickets, but it is 2 caps to 2 caps, except Epsilon now is falling to those spiders who continue to run around and put pressure. I wouldn't doubt seeing these guys maybe even running to Sigma next. We'll have to see if they want to get the 4 cap or not, but 19th Striker has a bit of distance to cover here. They've actually gone up to the top and are going to be running around the rail bridge. They're okay right now from the D4, but as soon as they get on the bridge, they could potentially be exposing themselves. But it looks like RCGB has actually started to rotate out from D4. They don't want to stick around for this massive brawl group, and I think that's a pretty good maneuver. If they continue to just rotate, and not actually get any damage down on 19th Striker, though, eventually 19th Striker should catch up and the brawl will start. They need to try and, I guess, put a little bit more pain into these large brawl mechs before the actual brawl starts. That's going to be the key to success. running the cap game as much as you want isn't going to matter if they can get this main strike force right into there. So they've pulled out a D4, and now this is an actual assaultable position here where they're set up. Yes, they're going to be able to get some pain downfield, but as soon as they breach over Theta, that's when the fight's going to start. They're going to be starting to pour some damage into the 19th Striker mechs, but it's a straight shot to this position, and if they go in hard, I think 19th Striker has a chance with this build. But it comes down to execution. They do have a 4 cap right now. The Spiders are continuing their tour around the outside, and actually they're going to gather information right here. That Spider is now telling his team they're all set up there, and I think the call is going to be made pretty soon here. Here comes a strike, actually. Well-placed strike. Looks like it might have hit the Executioner a little bit, but they did a good job clearing out from that smoke, and it looks like the call has been made, and they are on the move. Out to the right side, it looks like they might actually be bailing into the pit of death. Not sure if that's the best maneuver because they're essentially walking parallel to their opponents instead of directly at them to bring the brawl. They're taking quite a bit of damage now from RCGB in this maneuver, and they haven't actually gained any ground on their opponents. That concerns me a little bit. The lead Executioner taking quite a bit of damage, down to 36%. Take a look at his paper doll. He is open and about 1 shot to death now. He's lost a couple. His Gauss rifle got crit out, actually. Leading the charge essentially with a Gauss mech is pretty rough, especially when it is so easy to crit that out. The Arctic Cheetah doing what he can in the backfield here, just kind of moving around, but he's actually getting harassed by a Hunchback 2C. 19th Striker's gotten just a little bit closer, but that movement actually cost them a ton of armor, and I think it would have been better served personally just taking it straight to their opponents instead of, I guess, getting stuck in this position now. No cap points available for 19th Striker. 3 cap for RCGB. The Spiders don't look like they're worrying about caps. They're just comfortable with the 3 cap, and they're kind of chilling and waiting for the fight to begin. Maybe even chasing that Cheetah out. But 19th Striker moving their Hunchbacks now down to Gamma. I think they're putting a little bit too much focus on the caps. They had a beautiful opportunity to just bring the brawl to RCGB, but this concerns me a little bit. I'm not sure if this is going to go in their favor. The match is over halfway over now in terms of cap points, and I think 19th might have missed an opportunity to do quite a bit of damage here. RCGB does not need to move at all. They can just comfortably just kind of chill out here. They can just stay here, and they are getting harassed by... 19th is getting harassed by those 2 Spiders. They really have nothing better to do now, but look at this little back and forth here. This is kind of fun to watch. They're just putting so much pressure, just, you know, they're not necessarily doing a ton of damage, but it's any damage they're dealing is free right now. They're putting so much pressure on 19th, and 19th is essentially waiting to die at this point. I'm going to call this right now. There's no way in my mind that RCGB is going to lose this fight. And that's a bummer. It's a bummer. I honestly think that our 19th Striker had a great opportunity, but it kind of fizzled out with that across the pit charge there. $553 tickets, still a 3 cap. Well, they're starting to maybe get Sigma back, and I guess they're pressuring Theta as well, so they might get a 4 cap here. But they've lost so much armor by now that I don't see a realistic situation where 19th Striker can come back from this. A 3 cap will not be enough to win. They would need to 4 or 5 or somehow manage to kill the enemy team. Spider's doing a good job just keeping that harassing damage going downfield pretty consistently. Spider taking a look for where his enemy is. Oh, surprise! They got a little bit of an ambush in there, but he actually got away with that one. Could have taken quite a bit more damage. But let's see those machine guns now popping into the open components of that Executioner. They are a force to be reckoned with for sure. As soon as the armor gets stripped, the crits can start to occur, and boy, do they occur. The Flamer's not really going to do much against the Spiders since their primary weapons are the machine guns. They do have, you know, a large, in this case, ER large, I believe, but they can fire that all day without really overheating, and even if they do overheat, then they just stop firing for a little period of time. They haven't gotten the armor stripped yet for this Hunchback, though, so you can tell how long it takes to get the armor stripped, but then as soon as they do, look at how quickly he's dying now. Now that his armor's been removed, those machine guns are doing a significantly large amount of damage, and he's just about done, and there it goes. So it takes forever to get that initial armor taken care of, but as soon as it does, that mech usually dies. And that's why pairing those Spider 5Ks with something else that can do that, like big alpha, and then the machine guns, of course, can crit out those components. But this one is about to end, and it looks like it's going to end on points, actually, even though there's only 3 mechs remaining now for 19th Striker. So it's a good effort by 19th. I think it's relatively straightforward as to what cost them this match, though, and this is something that I think that they can certainly improve on. I don't think it was necessarily poor trades in any way, shape, or form. It was a movement issue and, I guess, inaction for a majority of the match. Extremely low damages from the entire team here. And I don't want to be too hard on them here. I mean, they came in and made an effort, but I think this is a very simple issue to fix. I think that they could have done a lot more with one simple trick. I wanted to make a joke for those like advertisements or whatever, but I don't know how to execute that. One simple trick, women hate him or something. I don't know. But really, I mean, let's go back to the replay here. And we're going to back it up a bit. Let me see. Let's get this into a better quality. And we're going to back it up. This maneuver, I was feeling really good about 19th up until this maneuver right here. So they moved up into the brawl position. Now, the first thing that I feel, of course, this is my opinion. I'm not an expert, but this is just my unique perspective and how I feel. I think that they could have had the opportunity to just continue running. I'm actually going to back it up all the way up here. And this is, you could tell I was kind of getting my camera ready for it because I was expecting it to happen. And it didn't. This movement, I liked this. They're all together. This is a great, look at how tight they are right here. This is, I was super enthusiastic about this. I don't like that they were sending their lights out for caps at this point, though. I think all 8 mechs should have been on Theta, and then I feel like they should have pushed through right here, but they stopped. And that's where I was like, hold on, I'm backing up to watch this charge happen, and it's not happening. What's going on? I come over to take a look. Okay. RCGB is not pushing, they're not rotating, 19th Striker's getting set up, not a bad thing, I guess. There is a 4 cap going on, but that's all moot if they can kill their entire enemy. But now some of that poke damage is coming in from the spiders there, and that's all free damage. They don't have a response to those spiders. More strikes coming in, and this is where I think they made their biggest mistake right now, and that's going parallel, I guess perpendicular to the enemy or something. I don't know what you want to call it. They look at it, nobody's dead, and they've now covered the distance it takes to get them into the RCGB front lines. And they could have been at this point killing RCGB mechs systematically one after the other by now, but instead they had no return fire. And they just hemorrhaged a grand total of, I would say, like 300% armor across the board and did no damage to their opponent. That right there is, in my opinion, the biggest mistake of this game for 19th Striker. And I wish that I could go back in time and see what that charge would have looked like if they took it straight into RCGB. This could have been a completely different match by far. So I guess 19th, if you're watching, I hope you guys agree with me. I guess we'll see if the viewers agree with me at all in that. But that maneuver right there, is what cost them this match. And so the rest of this was, I guess, an attempt to try and keep their head above water on the caps. The Spiders doing a fantastic job for RCGB, just continuing to put in the pressure, continuing to lock down the caps. I mean, at this point, it's a 3-0 cap. They're past the halfway point on tickets. Just very well played by RCGB. They controlled the map extremely well. So I don't want to take that away from RCGB. They played this very, very well. But 19th had a chance, and I would have really liked to see what they could have done if they took that fight straight to RCGB. So, I'm going to see. Let me see here. I'd like to keep talking nonstop, of course, but might not be able to do that. I am solo casting today, and the referees are doing a good job helping me out just to find matches and stuff, but I don't have a handler. I usually have like a handler that I can essentially just follow around, or like I just sit in their lobby and suddenly matches magically show up. And not having that, I'm definitely not taking those guys for granted. They do a lot of work for me, so mad props to all the people that help me out all the time here. I wish I could have them all the time. But I'm gonna get a little bit unprofessional here for a minute while I try and find another drop. If there isn't one, I guess instead of just making you guys watch the BRB screen for a while, maybe I'll go do some more solo drops and stuff, just to fill the time until the next drop starts up. A lot of people on the American side getting ready for the holidays and stuff like that, so they aren't around all that much. And that includes Canada Day and stuff like that. So a lot of the PGI guys are enjoying the holiday weekend, and all the North American support on my end and stuff too are all enjoying the weekend. I'm going to mute this quick and see whether or not we've got a drop coming up. Alright, I'm going to go back to the break screen, play a little bit of music, see if I can find another one here, and I will be back shortly. Stick around. Hopefully we'll be able to bring you another good match.